Hey, good evening, folks, and welcome to the 6 o'clock news on SBYnews.com. We've had a fun-filled day today, man. Some things are going on around town that has everybody in an uproar. We had a Salisbury fire truck get in an accident this morning. Numerous reports came in about the situation and what was going on. Some right, some wrong. But let me clarify what had happened. There were some calls this morning in the Fruitland, Allen area. Fire trucks apparently were screaming down the road left and right. One resident saw four Fruitland vehicles pass his home, two or three of which were fire trucks. One or two of them may have been chase vehicles, but everybody seemed to be racing to the scene. And here's my situation. Let me explain where I come from with the fire departments. To me, it seems pretty ridiculous to go to the scene, and I know the fire department has tried to back this up with their protocol numerous times with me, but you go to a scene and there's 9, 10, 11 fire trucks there. Now, when it's a rural area, I can see some of these tankers backing up one another, but look, folks, the bottom line to me is this, and this has been my problem since day one. That may be protocol to the fire department and the 911 system, but to have so many vehicles there to assist in a fire when usually the first truck takes care of the situation, the first responders. My problem too is it seems to be this pride and joy thing for all these firefighters to get to a scene as fast as they possibly can. Take this morning, for instance. You have the Salisbury Fire Department Station 16 on the west side of Salisbury now, going all the way into Fruitland or the Allen area, wherever this was, because I don't live in that area, but they're all racing to this scene. They're coming from all the way over there and trying to be a first responder to a non-first responder type of fire or accident. Happens on accidents too. So the bottom line is I have a problem with so many fire trucks showing up at the scene. In this case, you know, there's been talk about how this particular truck that got in the accident was filling up, and I have witnesses who saw that he was filling up the fire truck, which I'm told is only 500 gallons. Some people are trying to say 2,000 gallons. I beg to differ. That truck is probably a 500-gallon tanker. Don't know why, when they had it, you know, all the other fire trucks there and tankers there, that Salisbury had to redo that. But, you know, let's take it for what it is. Let's just say they needed it. In my opinion, this driver was not paying attention to the road, went off the road, did get into the mud, and drove it right into a tree. Now, the rim on this vehicle is also damaged quite badly. Don't know how that happened. Don't know if it was part of the tree or not, but they caused some damage, and the Salisbury taxpayers, you will be paying to fix it. Non-first responder to a scene. Go figure. Okay? Another thing that happened today in Salisbury is there's a suspicious death on Northwood Drive. Could be a murder. We're not sure yet. We're going to wait for Officer Tyler to get back with us and let us know, but they're considering the death suspicious. The man apparently died on the way to the hospital in the ambulance to PRMC. So we'll get back to you on that. I want to talk briefly about Mayor Ireton and his problem and issues with the blogs. I was at an event, not last weekend, but the weekend before, with Jim Mathias and Norm Conway. And it had been brought out on the blogs, including mine, where Mayor Ireton was being disrespectful because he was standing in the back complaining, oh, there goes those bloggers again. Oh, they're just going to tear these people up. Oh, they're not giving him a chance. You know, Jim, this is the real world, okay? And while I did stand there and help to make sure that questions didn't get asked twice, 3 times, and keep repeating things over and over again, and I believe you can agree to the fact that I did stand there and help move things along. The bottom line is the bloggers have the right to ask these questions. It's interesting though, Jim. You didn't see the Daily Times there. You didn't see BOC there. You didn't see MDT there. But you did see almost every blogger on the Eastern Shore there at that meeting because they care what's going on with politics. We can't customize things to fit your wants and needs. But we are here to stay, Jim. Please don't start acting like Barry Tillman, or it will come back and bite you, I can assure you. I don't think you want that kind of press. So it's time for you to back off and work with us at the same time, or deal with the repercussions. That's all there is to that. Now, in closing, folks, I want to talk about the President's Neighborhood Association. They had invited me to come out and speak last night at their local meeting, and I want to thank each and every one of you for not only attending, but for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to explain who I am, what I'm about, and what our goals and intentions are with Salisbury News. We had an incredible open discussion about what's going on. The big key right now that I see going on locally with the citizens in this particular group is code and compliance. Once again, people getting steamrolled, and the bottom line to me, folks, there is no question in my mind that code and compliance is in fact picking on the lower income residents. I heard so many stories last night, it would knock your socks off to hear how much they're abusing these people. I don't know what they're trying to create, and I'm not going to get into too much detail because you really had to be there to understand. But the bottom line is, there was no question in my mind, they're out of control. They've got too much power, and they're pushing people around, and they're fining people left and right. I had my day in court, and I'll explain that very quickly. Yesterday I was in court with Code and Compliance. I had a $200 fine for not being in compliance quick enough. Code and Compliance admitted to the judge that there is not a law, there is not case law, not law within the city of Salisbury for a moratorium between November and April. But they did in fact admit that they have an internal law within that for most of the people that work with Code and Compliance, they do comply with a moratorium for exterior painting between November and April. But it didn't qualify for Joe Albero. I'm told after the fact that I'm on one of those lists. So the bottom line is, the fine was $200. The judge reduced it down to $50, a $7.50 court fee. For what, folks? $50. For what? You and I both know how much it rained towards the end of the season last season. We had a contractor call Code and Compliance and confirm, and they admitted that they stated that there was a moratorium between November and April. Yet I still got fined because I didn't have 300 West Main Street posted on my building. Go figure. There's never been 300 West Main Street posted on my building. And the judge turned around and said, "But Mr. Albero, I practiced law there for many years. There must have been 300 West Main Street on the building." And I said, "Your Honor, are you telling me that Art Webster's so cheap that he took the 300 off the building when he sold me the building?" And the judge laughed, and I said, "You know, he's a lawyer, maybe he did. But we've never seen the 300 on the building." So I didn't have that posted on the building, and that's what I got fined for. And we will comply. As soon as the temperatures change, we will put the paint on the windows like Code and Compliance wanted. I explained over and over again just how I always have a contractor out there immediately if they find me in violation of anything. Within 12 to 24 hours, the problem is resolved. And that's been my track record. And I'm very surprised that the judge found in favor of Code and Compliance, but I am Joe Albero, and it is what it is. Folks, you have a great evening. We're going to talk to you again tomorrow night. Thanks for coming to Salisbury News.